Thank you, Carly. I like that very much. So the vote is we can pull them, but they might be different. Okay, so which one would you guys like? Let's try to pull a couple off, and we'll get the third one maybe on Thursday. Mean, median, or mode? Which one would you like to try to pull off of this graph right now? Mode.
0 to 2 and 3 to 4.
I love this. Mode. Let's do the mode. Why the mode, Nick? Because it's probably going to be the easiest one to see. The mode is the data point that occurs the most. It's the data point that occurs the most. With a histogram, those jump out at you. It's the biggest bars. The most frequent. The most frequent. Now the problem, as Carly correctly pointed out, is, yeah, these are obviously the modal bars, correct? Because they're 10 high. That means 10 people had between 0 and 2 keys.
But how many?
And exactly. And that's the problem. We know that 10 have between 0 and 2, and 10 also have between 3 and 5. But we don't know how many zeros, how many 2s, how many 1s, how many 3s, how many 4s. So here's a workaround for that. Here's a workaround for that. When you have grouped data like this one, instead of calling it 0 to 2, nothing wrong with doing that, by the way. But mathematically, an easier thing to do is to assume that everybody in this bar has how many keys?
1.
Assume they all have 1. Assume that every 0 is offset by a 2, so that pair of people averages to 1. And assume that every 3 is offset by a 5, which means they average to 4. So in other words, this bar really isn't 0 to 2 anymore, it's just 1. So I would call one of the modes 1. And I would call this mode over here 4. So
it looks like a mini medians, you could say, because it's 1 to 2, and you're just taking the middle.
Well, 0 to 2, taking the middle, becomes 1.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
And what we call that is the class mark. I want to come back to that more computationally on Wednesday. But yeah, for sure, the mode of this bad boy could very easily be called 1 and 4. And notice, we actually had 1 and 4 in our modes with the raw data. Now, we're going to lose the mode of 8, and the problem with that is just by the fact that the 8s are locked in with these 6s and 7s. And this brings up Carly's point that you do lose a little bit of accuracy, or precision, I guess more precision than accuracy, in that case. Very, very, very good. Good. Can you grab one more? We're gonna start with this next time. I just want you to think about it. Can you grab one more, the average of the median? Not quite as, Alan, go.
Median.
How would you find the median based on this?
You got 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 6 to 8 is the median.
Oh!
Or 7.
Oh, I like what you just said. I want to give you something to think about, though.
You have to accommodate for the number of data points.
Here's the kicker. I love what you said, Alan. Alan said, well, what the hell is 5 bars? Right? 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars, 5 bars. So throw out the bottom 2 bars, throw out the top 2 bars, there's your middle bar. What's a potential concern we should consider?
The numbers on either side.
The problem is, if you throw these 2 bars, Alan, you've thrown 20 data points out, right? If you throw these 2 bars, you've thrown 3 data points out. That doesn't jive well with what we did with the chopping, because we chopped equally. We didn't chop 20 and then 3, we chopped 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So how about on Thursday we come back and start with how to deal with this stuff grouped? And in a more procedural way. I don't think we're going to have time to do it in 2 minutes. And then we'll do the average too, because that's kind of fun too. Okay, dope? So I need to just work on the quizzes, yeah? Work on the quizzes. We're still in the middle of center, so I wouldn't bother looking at that homework yet or doing those quizzes. I'll post quizzes for next week though. Happily.
Yeah, let's see Thursday.
Yes.
Is there a book in the library?
There's not. I haven't ordered it yet. Send me an email to remind me to do that. Or a couple of them. Yeah. Maybe a couple of you send me an email to quiz on schedule page.
Is there the problems though?
The book's not, the quizzes don't have book problems attached to them. Quizzes are standalone. Yeah. And the book's online. You can download the book online. It's all free.
Okay.
Yeah.
So problems will come on.